And I feel like I've said this a handful of times, and it's been true every single time, that just lucky to be in the building for a night like that. Because I just said this last week with Gabe, so I don't want to overdo it.
But you have to be there, though, in order to, like, truly experience and feel the way that you're feeling. And then when you're going to these games, they're dramatic games. They're playoff games. And it's fun to be around. I love that you're able to come back and tell these stories like the Jamal Murray. If you haven't heard that, you need to go back at the beginning of the show and listen to like Jamal Murray and kind of how it set the tone of his night, because it truly did.
It did, and I'll do the compressed version real quick.
Please do.
Because it did set the tone. Jamal Murray's daughter doesn't go to a lot of games.
She's a baby.
She looked about 2 years old.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray's daughter does not come out on the court pregame before games, and Jamal Murray's daughter sure as hell is not out on the court in a pregame before a playoff game. And Jamal Murray's daughter sure as hell isn't out at the game on the court in a game 5 with the series tied, where the winner's going to go on to win that series 79% of the time. And so I was just like, whoa, this is so different. I took a little video, put it on Instagram, and then I watched him have the best warm-up I've ever seen him have. Phil, he shot 90%. He cut his pregame routine in half and ran to the locker room. And I thought that because it was the best warm-up I've ever seen and he literally shot 90% from three, I was like, he's shooting so well. He's like, I'm actually going to stop.
Yeah, just stop now.
This is, it cannot go better than this. I'm going to cut my pregame routine short just on gut feel. And he ran to the locker room. He says, and it came out after the game when in the press conference, that he cut it short because it was his daughter there. And this is what he said post game.
Yeah, it was just cool. I didn't even finish my pregame routine just because I had her out there, and sometimes that just relaxes me. I don't have to, think about the game. I literally didn't think about the game coming into the game. So it's cool just to have her and kind of have, my priorities in front of me. And when I go play, I'm just playing free, and that's how I played tonight. So yeah, I give my daughter credit.
It is so incredible that his mindset, and our brain is such a powerful thing.
Oh, it's the most powerful thing. Like, truly, when you're able to, and you're not going to unlock everything, but when you're able to just relax, enjoy the things around you, the little things, and just play freely. Like I say sometimes, like, hey, people are playing freely. Like, that's what it looked like for Jamal Murray. There was no doubt. There was no worry in his eyes, in his head probably, where it's just like, let me go and play this sport that I love to play, that I get to play. It's a privilege to play. I remember doing that all the time. And it was one day when my father – I was calling and I was talking. I was complaining to my father right before the game. My dad said, son, stop right there. You're playing in the NFL. You have a privilege that a lot of people don't have. All right? This is what you need to do. You need to get that ass out of bed. You need to look outside, enjoy the weather, look at the blue skies, look at other people. Make somebody's day when you walk into that facility before the game. Sign a couple autographs. Be grateful, and you'll play better. And that's exactly what I did, Zach, and I played great. I went for almost 200 yards that game, and I had maybe 2 touchdowns. And I played great because I was free. I was free from myself. I was free from just worrying about nothing. I was not worried about anything but just playing.
Yeah.
And that's what Jamal Murray looked like last night.
And it's so interesting how our brain can work and what takes like occupancy and how much space things take up in your brain.
Yeah.
But he says, I wasn't even thinking about the game. I wasn't thinking, so this is the biggest game of the year. And someone could hear that and say, okay, that's kind of unhealthy. You need to get in a mindset. But for whatever reason, that worked for him last night. And it's a great story with your dad and talking to you before a game and whatever you were, complaining about that day. And it was so interesting, too. And this doesn't have anything to do with anything, but we have 4 hours to fill, so I'll just share it.
Please do,
I'm
Zach.
driving to the game last night, and I'm on I-25, and it's heavy traffic. And I'm behind in Audi station wagon, and I'm watching 2 kids in the back seat that look like they're anywhere from age 6 to 10. I couldn't really tell, but they're pretty small, but they weren't in child seats.
Yeah.
And I'm watching them have a whole conversation with sign language. A whole conversation, and it's like rapid fire to the degree. And I'm just watching it for 5-10 minutes. And I'm just like, and I'm not saying like being deaf is not a death sentence by any means, of course, like not even close. But I'm just watching that, and I'm like, as I'm watching it, I'm thinking of my own kids. And just the appreciation that, and they're not, things haven't been perfect physically. They both have their own little issues with their feet and Achilles. But I'm like watching it, and I'm like, just a moment of gratitude.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching
Yes.
two kids who can't hear, or at least one can't. So, mindset, right? Mindset.
Straight mindset.
What a game last night was. That was 131-115. If you had told me before the game started that Jokic would go 4 for 13 and the Denver Nuggets would wind up with 131 points against one of the best defenses the association has to offer,
I would say you're dreaming, Zach.
it shouldn't make sense, but yet it made perfect sense.
Jokic only had 2 points in the second half, correct?
Incredible.
See?
Incredible. And this is where a shot of just revitalized optimism, quite frankly, that I haven't had with this team. Right?
Oh, so you're flipping, huh?
I sit across from you, and I've talked about all the doubts I have with this team. And some of those doubts still exist. 148-minute game isn't going to just be a baptism and wash all that, away. But, God, it went a long way in kind of doing it, because I wasn't sure if Jamal Murray was still capable of playing to the level in which he played last night in a postseason game, because we haven't seen that level sustained over the course of the game. I'm not talking about a game-winning shot.
Yeah.
I'm talking about sustained over a 48-minute, gotta-have-it playoff game when your season is hanging in the balance.
Capable, or you just didn't think it was going to happen? Because I believe that Jamal Murray was capable of it because of the regular season and a couple times of him doing it. But if you would say, hey, I'm putting a gun to your head, and if Jamal doesn't go for 43, you could bet this, and it could pay off for you. I'm not making that bet because Jamal Murray's just not consistent enough. But it's in him. He's done it multiple times, even this year. He's done it to help us win a championship, so it's within him. But can you get that consistently every single night? That's something Jamal does not do.
No, it doesn't. He does not do that, and we talked about it yesterday, that he was the 22nd leading scorer in the postseason, where half the league is at home or in Cancun. There's 21 scores ahead of him. He came into the night averaging the same amount of points as Jaden McDaniels from the Timberwolves, who's a fine player, but not a max player. Jamal Murray's a max player, and the hallmark of his game is putting that orange ball through that cylinder. And up until last night, Jamal Murray hadn't got to 24 points, let alone in the 40s.
We talked about, like, what does Jamal Murray need to have tonight to win, for us to win?
I think I said 25,
yeah,
24,
and I said, like, 27.
Yeah, you did say 27.
Yeah, 27. Yeah. Like, but we all know that, like, Jamal Murray is that impact player that you need if you're going to win a championship. If you're going to get out this first round, Jamal Murray's going to have to play well. We all know that.
And it's like, okay, can he do it again? Can he live somewhere in between where he was last night and who he was for the first 4 games of the playoff? Because he's not going to be able to do that every single. No one can.
So what does that look like, Zach? What do you want to see now?
It looks like what Michael Malone asked of him 5 years ago, a half decade ago, when he said, "I don't need you to score 30 every night, but I don't want you scoring 12 3 times a week. Yeah. Can you live in a consistent range where it's 21 to 24 points?" And he's just never been able to unlock that consistency. But it gave me hope of, okay, if this is who he can be and he can channel it. And Jamal's a human being. Don't think like self-doubt can't creep into him or confidence. And
it happens to all of us.
We're just talking about so much of it's mindset. And so can he be a more consistent version of himself? And if the answer to that question is yes, and he does live somewhere between where he was last night and the first 4 games of the playoffs.
Let's just say Jamal starts to average 25 points a game. Is that enough, Zach, for us, of course, to get out this first round, but make a run for a championship? 25 points a night, like he's consistently shooting the 3. I mean, my man had 8 3-point shots made last night.
Incredible. He shot 57% from 3.
57%.
The previous game, he was 1 for 5. Game before that, 1 for 4. If he averaged 25 points a night, the Nuggets will have a great opportunity to be in the Western Conference Finals, but to do that, you'd have to beat Oklahoma City.
But think about that.
and-
Oklahoma
and-
City with Jokic, because look, Jokic kind of took a step back yesterday and said, everybody do your job. I'm going to let everybody do their job and let's go home. But we know Jokic is going to consistently have his triple-double, and if he has to score points, he will do that. But if you can add the 25 points consistently from Jamal Murray, and maybe you sprinkle in MPJ knocking down some big-time threes, Aaron Gordon doing what he has been doing since the first game of the series.
And how about CB waking up?
And CB finally waking up, not defensively, but we're talking about offensively. Defensively, he's been doing a lot better. Even the first game was better than people thought. But now he's putting it all together.
He's putting it together on both ends. See, because it's not just the Jamal thing happening here. Like, it is Michael Porter Jr. being a much better version of himself and battling. It is Aaron Gordon. This guy, you talk about consistency that we're wanting from Jamal
Iron Man.
is what we sometimes take for granted from AG. And then Christian Brown figuring it out as the series has gone on. He's doing a great job on James Harden. Not good, great.
James Harden had 11 points last night.
He
MIA.
He got erased from the game.
James Harden didn't even talk to the media. This is the second time that happened where James Harden doesn't talk to the media.
This is who he is. This is who
Just
he
leaves.
is.
He's just a ghost now.
I'm going to because I said to you the last couple of days, I reserve the right to overreact to playoff games. I do. And this is what makes this job fun. In the regular season, I don't think it's as healthy because there's 82 of them. I don't know if we're going to have more than 7 yet for the postseason. But so last week I was so upset. I was so frustrated
I was too.
after that 34-point
I
loss.
was too.
But now I'm taking a step back, swallowing my pride. I have Clippers, and I picked the Nuggets to win last night, but I had Clippers in 7 before the series started.
Are you ready to change that?
1,000%. Now I won't. I'll stick to the prediction because I'll be wrong and just own it. Because I don't want to flip flop. I'm going to say, do I think the Nuggets are going to get out of the series? I do.
Okay.
I do.
All right. That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
You can flip flop. You're a fan.
But I'd rather. Yes, I do think they're going to get out of the series.
You have a bigger sample size. You just got to see Jamal Murray hit 43 points on fire. But it's not just him. AG had 23, and Jokic only had 13.
Incredible.
And they dominated the Clippers.
Dominated.
And so when we went into this, it was like, hey, the Clippers on paper look better, and they're doing a better job in a couple of the first 2 games in the series. But now things are starting to flip. And now you have the Nuggets that won back-to-back games, one on the road and one at home, and now they're going to have to win again on the road, which they can do because they did it before. Like, you can flip a little bit. You're not sitting here trying to say, hey, I'm going to change up.
No. Yeah, no. I basically what I was trying to say is, I do believe the Nuggets are going to get out of this round. But I did pick the Clippers, and I'm just okay with saying at the end of this thing, I was dead wrong about picking the Clippers.
I was too. I had Clippers in 6.
Yeah,
I had Clippers in 6.
But
shame on me.
Well, it's one of these things. It's like, how do you go about this job? How do you go about watching the games? Because there's a certain way to do it that you cling to your original take, and everything you watch is through the lens of your original take. And I just don't want to do that. I want like they'll say, like, let the game come to you. Like, let the series come to you.
But I'm kicking myself, Zach, because as a former player, there will be games where we got our asses handed to us, and I would be so upset, and I wanted somebody to blame so bad that night going on, like we'd be on the road, and then that next day comes around, and you start to think about what you did not do, and what you could have done better for yourself, and not just start blaming everybody else. And then the next day goes on, and it's a little bit different. It's like, okay, let's regroup. I feel like we came in there reacting, and we should have just kind of kept that level head because it's the Nuggets, and they do have Jokic. And, Jamal Murray is still playing, although we haven't seen the Jamal of last night.
No.
And AG has been consistent. And we just got done talking about someone like MPJ who's been tough, and now he went and had 14 last night, and he's banged up. I just felt like we overreacted because of what it looked like on the road.
Well, here's the thing. We're going to react. We come in here and react to the previous games. So when you lose by 34 points on the road, and that was your first road opportunity since Game 6 last year when they lost by 46, and you lose by combined 79 points in your last 2 playoff games, and it looks grim and it feels even worse. It looks grim and it feels worse. And you're seeing, like, I'll tell you this, Being in the arena last night, the Clippers are becoming disconnected.
Are they?
Yes, they are.
Well, because on the TV, it just looks like they have blank faces. I don't really get to see like their interaction with each other.
There hardly is any.
Okay, so that's what it looks like on the TV screen, though.
And that's what it looked like from Denver in Game 3. Denver looked like they were coming disconnected. Jokic is yelling on the bench with frustration in an unhealthy way. You got to remember the first couple of games, like Jokic is kind of out of control. Remember?
Oh, yeah,
he's kind of flopping and laying on the ground. He's getting technical fouls. He's protesting in the ways that he does.
And he was doing a bunch of stuff.
So this series has been a shapeshifter.
This is an emotional roller coaster here.
It has been on the heels of an emotional regular season where the team looked disconnected. They fired the best coach they've ever had. They fired They fired their general manager in Calvin Booth. So and then that bleeds into the playoffs, and it builds up. And the question I have is, are we overreacting?
Are we a prisoner in the moment right now?
Just the other way. Just flip the other way. Like, okay, do you think the Denver Nuggets can beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 4 times in a 7-game series?
I don't want to go against this team anymore.
Go against the Nuggets.
Against the Nuggets anymore. I really don't. I don't even want to go down that road. I believe that the Nuggets can beat OKC because they have players to do it. They have a bunch of players that have been together for a very long time that have won before. Literally, Christian Brown's the one that was coming off the bench and he won. He helped out in a tremendous way. Aaron Gordon's playing great basketball. You have Jokic that's very consistent. Jamal Murray is that missing piece. And if Jamal Murray can be a guy that averages 23, 25 points to go with Jokic, and MPJ can get healthier in shooting the three-point shot again, this team is scary. The only thing I think about is like they don't have a bench like some of these other teams do.
They don't. And Oklahoma City is the best example of it. The best. They can roll out 10 guys.
But it's like
10.
This young team.
Yeah.
The young hotshots going against a team that's older, that's been there and done it before. And it's like you guys are hyped up and ready to go. But this is going to be a battle. You guys think you guys are just going to run us over, and it's not the case because we know how to play this game. We know how it feels to be in these moments. I feel like that's going to help the Denver Nuggets because all of them have been in moments. And if Jamal can just continue to be the guy like last night, not the 43 points, but just consistent, taking those shots, take more than 4 threes. Go ahead and shoot 7, 8 of them because they're going to fall for you if you get the confidence and you get the rhythm going. If that can happen for them, they're going to be tough to beat, Zach. I don't want to go against them and say that OKC can beat them because I don't know if they can.
I'd want to see it.
I want to see it.
And the further we get down this first series road, I think we're going to see it. And what have I been saying for 6 months about Russell Westbrook?
The Russell Westbrook experience?
The Russell Westbrook experience is you're not going to be able to judge it until
the playoffs.
Until the playoffs.
Playoffs is here, baby.
And the playoffs are here, and so is Russ. And
you get me excited right now, Zach. Hold on, let me sit back here. Go ahead.
I have had my doubts, and rightfully so, because if you're paying attention, Russell Westbrook is one of the most inefficient players in the NBA. He was 4th in the whole league in turnovers per minute this year, okay? I went through all the percentages, and today's not the day to do that to Russ, okay? Russ has been in the Nuggets wins, specifically in Game 1 and Game 5, he has been great in a way that I did not see coming, in a way that he has not been in the NBA playoffs for years. Phil, last year, he made 4 out of 26 shots outside the paint.
Yeah.
Unplayable. But Adelman said this. He said, Russ is with us now. We know about the past. We know.
Yeah, the past is the past.
There's a reason that he might have been playing in China if the Denver Nuggets didn't pick him up on a minimum contract.
Honestly, that's like Sean Payton, too, with a bunch of quarterbacks. Was like, I know about Zach Wilson, but he's going to be different here with us. Like, it's just like having that confidence no matter what. Like, it's not about the past. He's with us now.
Yeah, and the market spoke to Westbrook similar to the NFL market speaking to Shador. It's like, no thank you. And the Nuggets took a chance on him, and I had questions about it all regular season. Would this translate? And I still have questions. The Nuggets are not out of the first round yet. It's 3-2 in a series that I believe is going 7.
But your questions with Russ. What's your questions with Russ right now, though?
No, my questions with Russ so far right now, especially in games 1 and game 5, and he's still going to drive you nuts. Like, he still had an air ball last night. Big breeze comes over the whole crowd. It's like, oh my gosh, there's an air ball.
Zach, that doesn't drive me nuts anymore. That's him, one speed, Mr. One Speed. Go ahead and do your thing.
And I love that you call him that. I love that. I'll just say it again. Russ has been great in a way that I did not see coming, and he deserves, especially
feels good coming out of your mouth, Zach.
Someone like me who has had my doubts this entire time. And I will still look at him skeptically here, okay? Because we're in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. But look, we talked about this, though, Zach. Less is more. I'm not looking for Russ to be out there for 30 minutes. I'm looking for Russ to be out there 22, 25 minutes. What did he play last night? 25 minutes. He had 12 minutes in the first half, went for 16 points. He still had 4 turnovers.
He did.
But that's Russ. But you know what? I'm willing to risk that if Russ is going to bring that energy, bring the points, and he's working well with the team.
And here's the other dynamic that's at play here with Russell specifically. David Adelman pulls his plug out of the outlet when it starts to go a little bit cuckoo. And it happened last night.
He resets him a little bit.
He does. He takes him right out of the game. You felt it start coming in the second half, and it's like, here's the because Russ is he's got 2 versions of himself. and when he starts to get to that other version, Adelman pulls the plug on it immediately. And he's got I'll give Adelman credit on this. It feels like he has a sensitivity to the volatile nature of Russ and shuts the faucet off as it starts to come out in a way that Malone doesn't. Because Malone has trust, and he just goes with what he goes with, and he doesn't. Malone didn't have the best game day sensitivity to dynamics
like
that.
Throughout the game, like what does it look like? What does it feel like? Is Russ playing good? If he is, keep him out there. If not, like take him out for a little while. Let him reset.
But that's more Adelman. You say like, hey, you like who you like. Malone, like he just trusts who he trusts. So even sometimes when the trust is being lost on the court, he just would keep him out there because that's what he's going to do. He's going to play veterans, and Adelman is more in the moment, making split-second decisions with Russell specifically that I think is really healthy, and it actually helps keeping Russ from himself at some point.
Just give Zach or give Russ his roses.
I did.
Yo, give it like Adelman's helping control his inner beast.
He
Russ
does.
Is just doing a great job in the playoffs right now.
He's doing a great job. I did give him his roses, but roses have thorns, and Russ can have some thorns. And
everybody has thorns. Jamal has a bunch of thorns.
There's no doubt.
MPJ has a bunch of thorns.
No question
about
it.
Even Jokic at times has a couple thorns.
At
they're
times.
hard to see, but they're there.
But those other guys are going to play.
They are going to play, but so is Russ.
Russ is, but it could be. We've seen Russ play 12 minutes, and we've seen him play 25 minutes.
Well, depending on how the starters are looking. If the starters are looking phenomenal,
and depending on Russ,
of course, depending on Russ. But Zach, that's like and I get what you're saying with Michael Malone. Like Michael Malone would
he was too rigid. He was too rigid.
Like he would act like and ignore that things are wrong. And David Adelman is more of aware,
more fluid,
of like what's going on.
Yeah, more fluid.
And it's like, hey, like now's not the time to have Russ in there if he's not ready to go, and if he is, keep him out there going. And last night, my man was going.
Did the camera get him pushing Bogdanovich? He pushed him multiple times. Russ was on one last night, dude. And again, I don't know what the camera catches when it doesn't.
It caught a lot of what Russ was saying, a lot of cuss words.
To the Clippers bench.
Like, you speaking my language, Russ.
dude, no matter what happened, if Russ did something, it's so loud.
Well, you love it.
It's so loud.
But that's what he's bringing. He's bringing that spark. And you know who it's helping out? It's helping Jamal out. It's helping Christian Brown out, the younger ones. Not necessarily Jamal, but Christian Brown, because now Christian Brown say, let me get in on this. Then you have Peyton Watson get an alley-oop and say, let me get on this. It's all about that, Zach.
I would say Russ is less of a spark and more of a blowtorch. And someone's getting burned. It's either them or us, but someone's getting burned here.
No,
someone's getting burned by this blowtorch.
Oh, man, it's a control blowtorch.
Last night it was more, man, and he deserves the credit. I'll give it to him. I'll say it one more time here.
I'll say it again. Say it 10 more times. I'm okay with it.
Russell Westbrook has been great in a way that I did not see coming. All right. You want to react to it? RamosLaw.com text line 3.